Ben Bartelt, the biggest professional Fanatics super fan there is. Isn't that right?
Tech guy. I mean, super fan, tech guy, whatever you want to call it.
You got a lot of roles here, man. Friend,
or.
tech guy, all-star, decent fantasy player. I only say that because you're young, right? You need to compile more losses and more anguish to get to the point where I'm at, where I've been playing so long, so many leagues that I've seen it all, right?
True. I got a couple decades I got to go before I catch up with you there.
I'm like a retired porn star. Like, I know everything about sex, right? It's like after you've been fucked by 95 guys, that's in 1 year, and I did it for 20 years. Yeah, I know a lot about dick. And actually, I do already. So, Jesus. All right. We're already getting into it.
Strong.
I am going. Yeah, we're going to start off strong, baby. I'm going to hit you with the intro. I got to get you a custom intro with your name on there since you're going to be coming.
We'll get it made. We'll get it made.
I only have so much time, and I spend 5 hours a day on the live stream, and then prep for the live stream.
That is true.
I still have to eat and poop and do all those things.
Yeah, still got to live, man.
Yeah, I will live. How have you been? Did you have a good week 2 in fantasy and gambling? I know you had a good week in gambling.
I did. I was following you.
Hit my bets,
I had to have a good week. Fantasy was so-so, a little bit better than week 1. So I put up 100 points at least in every league. So that was a good start.
You're playing PPR though, so I don't know how great that is. We got a first question already. Hey guys, I lost Burrow. You think it comes back for the fantasy playoffs, or am I doomed? That is going to be about. It's going to depend on his rehab, which we're not going to know about, and then it's going to depend on the Bengals playoff chances. So if they're eliminated, if they're 6-8, he ain't coming back. So I would hold them for now. If they can get to 4-1 somehow, then I think you have a chance. But there's a chance, regardless of the Bengals record, he doesn't come back.
Yeah, that's a tough one because I think with that 3-month time period, it's showing if he has a good rehab, he'll be back. But that, like you said, is contingent on them being a team that's going to be in there for the long haul. I don't know. I think it's going to take a couple weeks to see that. If they stick with Jake Browning, we don't know. We saw how he performed last couple times that Joe Burrow's been out. So, but I know they're running thin on veteran QBs that they can get. So I think they might be sticking with Jake Browning.
Yeah, they went, it was 2 years ago when he had that hand injury. Burrow had the hand injury. I think they went 4-3. So with Browning.
So, yeah.
So that's not, they might have been a better roster then, but
I believe he had a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I believe I remember seeing that not too long ago.
Well, that motherfucker threw 3 picks in 3 quarters, dude. But they still won the game, right? But that was nuts, dude. I do like it for fantasy. It's like a Nick Mullins thing where like Browning might even be better for the fantasy receivers if that doesn't sound too crazy because he's just a chucker. Like Burrow's a smarter quarterback. Browning doesn't give a fuck. And I do like
he's
that.
Just gonna throw it.
Quarterback.
He's just going to throw it.
But if you're in a league that has like -3 for an interception, you can't be rocking Jake Browning because he's going to throw a lot of picks.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one.
A lot of picks. Yes, it is. Okay, so Benjamin, you have two big things from week 2, and give me those in 1 second. What are your 2 big things?
Choice. Well,
it's Ron Jeremy, baby.
One of my big things, actually, we already touched on a little bit, so I'm going to move on to a different big thing and just add another one in there at the end. One of mine that I had was that the rookie class is a little bit underwhelming so far. I think we had 2 big hopes with Hampton and Genty, and we saw them go head-to-head, and neither of them performed well at all. But I think, granted, it's only week 2. We got to give them time. But, with how high these guys were getting drafted and how high hopes were on these guys, through 2 weeks, it's been underwhelming so far.
Hampton sucks dick. He's not a good player. Dude, they're not using him. Najee's there. It's rough, bro.
I was watching last night those 2 play against each other, and Genty just couldn't move forward at all. Granted, that's the O-line and playing in Vegas. And then Hampton had just a terrible fumble there at the end of the game where they had the chance to put the game away, and he just basically gave the ball back to Vegas.
And not only just the fumble, if you watch the game, he had the blunder in the KC game where he ran out of bounds at the end of the half, and that didn't. Neither of them cost the game, but the point is, Harbaugh is not one to fuck around with that.
No.
And then there was the goal. He got stuffed on the goal line twice last night, but it wasn't that was more concerning because that was more an offensive line problem. What was concerning was he got a carry on the 6-yard line, and he fucking bounced that sucker, and he got to the 2, but I'm pretty sure he would have got a touchdown if he ran the play that was called. So he's a bouncer. I don't like his vision. He's young. That's a problem. What is your second big thing?
I think second big thing, I'm going to go with Danny Dimes or Danny Dollar and the Colts offense. This is 2 straight weeks that this Colts offense is looking put together. And, I mean, I've loved Anthony Richardson the last 2 years. I drafted him the last 2 years, not this year. But, I mean, I had high hopes in him. But to see Daniel Jones come into that Colts team, and they're looking good, man. They're looking like a good team.
Yeah, the thing is, I've always loved the Colts offense outside of the quarterback because they've always had a above average offensive line. Shane Steichen is kind of the reason the Eagles offense became what it was. You also have a good group, not an elite group of wide receivers, similar to the Packers, but a better group than the Packers have with Pittman, with Downs. Alec Pierce is solid. Ed Mitchell was a high draft pick. And Tyler Warren is just a fucking monster. So, and Jonathan Taylor. I didn't even mention Jonathan Taylor. Like, that is a good offensive environment. And that just shows how bad Anthony Richardson is as a professional quarterback. Like, the abilities there with Richardson in terms of like strong arm, quick release, fast, athletic, but not durable and can't read a defense and is inaccurate and can't even hit like a slant route. So this is more of the thing is it's actually like really bad for Anthony Richardson because Danny Dimes, say what you will about him, he was a high draft pick, 5th overall, but he is just a replacement level quarterback, and he's coming in looking like Joe Montana.
Yeah, I mean he's coming in looking like he deserves to be a starting quarterback in the league, which I thought so. Even with the Giants, he was good. The Giants were.
He had one good year. Yeah, right. When he had a good team around him, he went to the playoffs. I think Judkins is going to be any good this year. I'll toss that one to my boy Ben because he's an Ohio State fan.
Oh, yeah. I mean, aside from the little mishap that happened there in the offseason, I have always thought Judkins was a great player. I thought he was the better back coming out of Ohio State rather than Travion Henderson. But, some people thought differently.
You're in the minority but that's cool.
Some people were a little bit higher on the other one. But, I mean, Judkins is a great running back. You see the power, you see the speed. I think as long as he stays on track as a football player, I think he will be okay.
I'm going to get to all your comments here in a second. We have like 4 or 5 I'll get to. One thing I'll say about Judkins, don't get over your skis too much yet, just because we haven't had any word about the NFL possible suspension, and I think it could still come. So it's going to be weird, but it's also the NFL, and their timelines on these things, they're unpredictable. So, like, I wouldn't trade for Judkins and, like, at value in terms of, like, where you think he's going to be because he might still miss 6 games. But that being said, he does look good, and I think it'll be okay. What up?
I will add one more thing into that. As far as trading or trying to get Judkins, obviously you're still valuing your other rookie running backs above him. I would even still value Henderson above him until you see where Judkins lands in this Browns offense with anything, especially with suspension coming up too. But I do think he's poised to be a very good running back in the NFL as long as he stays in the NFL.
Yeah, and the issue is the Browns. I think that the word we should use is it appears, and I'm going to say appears, that Quinshon Judkins is going to be relevant for fantasy. The word is relevant, right? Which we didn't know that was going to be the case at all. We got Steve Casey saying sit this week 2 guys to fill 1 running back slot and 2 flex. Pickens, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Warren, and Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason, 100% is in your lineup. Probably in your running back spot. I think you want Pickens and McLaurin still. I think you're fine, even if it's Mariota there. I still think you start Terry McLaurin. Jalen Warren will be my sit, but it's close. But Mason 100% is a starter.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's hard to put Jalen Warren above either Pickens or McLaurin, just because Pickens you have going up against Chicago, so God knows what's going to happen there. I don't know who Washington's playing, but either way, it's hard to put Jalen Warren above any of those guys.
Agreed. This is a good one. Week one, Ravens, Bills, Steelers, Jets. Week 2, Giants, Cowboys. They were amazing games to watch. I'm stoked for the season. I couldn't agree more with you, man. And a couple of those were games we didn't see coming, right? Steelers, Jets, that had the lowest total of the week, and that was an 80 points scored. Giants, Cowboys. The Giants didn't even score a touchdown week 1. Cowboys look like shit. And those were the most exciting games. Ravens, Bills, we get, right? But the fact that this is a good start to the year. The early part of the Sunday games on week 1 were kind of lame. And then awesome finish to the week 1 slate. And then last week was exciting, man. Last week was good. Even the Monday night games, both of them were pretty good, minus the Chargers game. That was more of a Geno Smith problem. But it's looking good. There's a lot of good quarterbacks. Unfortunately, we had some quarterback injuries, but there's a plethora of them that are going to be entertaining. And the league's in a good spot. I like the new kickoff rule. It's definitely made the kickoff exciting again and relevant, and field position could swing wildly. Turnovers. You saw Caleb Johnson touching the ball. Like, that should never happen before, because the last 5 years it was touchback. Nothing. Just like literally like go to the bathroom. You don't have to watch a kickoff. Now it's like you want to watch the kickoffs.
Yeah, I mean, so far what I've seen in 2 weeks of football, I mean, I've seen a lot of blocked punts. So, I mean, special teams itself is going off the rails. Like, I mean, I tuned into the Patriots-Dolphins, and I saw a punt return for a touchdown, and then the kickoff immediately after was then returned for a touchdown. I love watching that kind of football. It's awesome.
And what we failed to mention is the kickers are just unfucking real. So you're looking at guys like, dude, Aubrey hitting a 64-yarder. Like, dude, that's unheard of. Like, it used to be unheard of, right? A 54-yarder.
Good from what, 72 or 73, I think they said it was.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing some 70-yard attempts at the end of half, and definitely the end of games, 100%. And I can't wait for that. Steve says, I want to sit McLaurin this week if JD sits, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. I think you roll with McLaurin, man. He's still playing all the snaps. It's still Terry McLaurin. Like, if anything, maybe that Mariota would be a good thing for him in the short term. You know, we don't know, because it hasn't been good so far. And I'm not like panicking on him yet. He's probably not going to return draft capital where you got him, but you have him. I wouldn't play Jalen Warren over him, is where I'm going.
Yep, I 100% agree. Even with the up in the air about Jaden Daniels, I still like Marcus Mariota. I think he's a viable backup quarterback. I mean, you saw it happen with Mac Jones. So,
yeah. How much are we putting fab on Ramondre Stevenson out of $100? Depends on the league. So if you're in a super deep league, I'm obviously going to spend more because he's a starting running back apparently. I would say if you're in a running back needy situation, he could be played. I would say like 20%. Because, like, how are you not going to get a better player than him in the future, most likely?
Yeah, I wouldn't go any more than 20%. I mean, Stevenson's another one of those guys. I mean, we touched on it with Kenneth Walker the last time I was on, and it's basically like you got to give it to him until it's taken away from him situation. So, I mean, you still got to be in on Ramondre Stevenson, but I wouldn't personally go any more than 20%.
Yeah, Tyler says, how much fab for Franklin? Out of 100? No, I don't think much. I wouldn't personally. I don't play fab leagues. I wouldn't even use a waiver claim on him, and I'm a little lower on him. It's just because Sutton's gonna have way better days. Evan Ingram, we don't know what's going on there, but he's still a perennial starting tight end in the league. You're gonna have RJ Harvey mixed in. They like Pat Bryant. You still Marvin Mims somehow only played. The thing is, Troy Franklin's great game came on a game where somehow Marvin Mims ran a route on 20% of the dropbacks. And that's kind of been his MO, but they told us this year they're going to play Mims more. He did have a touchdown catch, Mims did. But there's just a lot of mouths there, and I just don't necessarily trust it to, like, spend a waiver claim.
Yeah, 100% agree.
But if you need a guy this week, I do kind of trust Franklin over, like, Io Manor. I like Io Manor more long-term, but I trust Franklin more as a guy that's going to be out there 70%, and it should be a decent game against the Chargers. Tyler also says, are we dropping Blue yet? Yeah, we're dropping Jaden Blue. Should have never been drafted. Like, he's not yet to even draft. The coaches hate him. Javonte has a stranglehold in that backfield. They're still behind Miles Sanders. It's rough because we had high hopes for Blue, and it might happen at some point. But he's the weird example of he's not a handcuff and he's not a playable guy. So why are you rostering a guy that has no path to carries as of right now? Even with an injury, he would become in the mix. But, like, we don't want an injury to get our guys in the mix. We want an injury like Tyler Algier and Trey Benson. And even like Rico Dowdle is like a lower example of a guy we know is a starter. And whether you want the starter, backup running back starter on Carolina, he's still going to be a top 24 guy, where Jaden Blue is a big play guy, but he's never going to get a lot of snaps. Not until like week 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were high on him coming in because everyone was taking into consideration what Miles Sanders was the last 2 years, especially last year in Carolina. But I mean, we've seen him come in and back up Javonte Williams really well. We've seen Javonte Williams take off this year. I mean, it's been 2 games, but in this Dallas offense,
He's
he's looking
crushing.
great. So I mean, yeah, I'd drop Jaden Luke over. Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, there's a lot of better options there.
100%.
We got. Are you feeling that they're going to remove field goals from the NFL or reduce them? I don't think so, man. People like it. It's exciting, dude, and it's just a different play, and it's so important. I know some people are the belief that kickers aren't fucking football players and it has no place in the game, but it's very strategic and like some of the most exciting moments in the history of the league. Make or miss, and specifically some misses, some short misses, extra points being missed when you have a crazy drive at the end of the game. And the kicker lets you down. It's so great to fucking hate on the kickers. It's just a great talking point, and like. I'm pretty sure if they took it out of the league, Stephen A. Smith wouldn't have a job. He shouldn't have a job anyway. I'm better than Stephen A. Smith, you fucking bum. Bryce Carter says thoughts on Trey Benson moving forward. I love Trey Benson. I loved him coming in the year. I have probably 14 shares of Trey Benson, bro. When James Conner gets hurt, I knock on wood. I love that guy. Cancer survivor. Good guy. Good player. I'm be doing fucking cartwheels, bro. And I am fat and out of shape. I can't do cartwheels. I'm going to fucking do one. Or at least a somersault. Or a belly flop or something, or a jerk off. I'll do something, man. Blake says JCM or Benson this week. It's still JCM. I like Benson's role. I think Benson probably has the most playable of the handcuff roles, but JCM is more of the like 1A as of now with Eckler's being hurt. So it's JCM. It's a risky play, but it's JCM.
Yeah, I mean, it's a risky play because we saw him last game not get many touches at all. But I mean, I'd take that risk over the other side.
Yeah, just made a trade that kind of left me thin at RB, especially if Mixon doesn't make his way back this season. Well, Mixon's not. If you haven't been watching the show, I'm guessing you haven't. Mixon, I've been saying since like 2 weeks before the season started when that news came out, Mixon's not playing this year. And the fact we haven't heard any news, and we're looking at week 3 coming up, he's eligible to come back week 5, and we haven't heard a single update on Joe Mixon. That's very ominous. That's bad. If he comes back, it's week 10, and you would never feel comfortable starting him because he's coming off an injury. Nick Chubb looks okay. They like Woody Marks. Drop Nick Chubb, or sorry, not Nick Chubb. Drop Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I did just see Woody Marks jumping Dameon Pierce in the running back spots. So
Dameon Pierce was inactive, and he looked pretty good too.
Especially any thoughts on Sutton? They're not going to put much into Mixon. On Sutton?
No.
I mean,
yeah.
What about Sutton?
You can't sell him. You can't sell him.
No.
He'll be fine because he's coming off a 1-catch game. He's coming off 1 catch for fucking 6 yards. He got 2 end zone targets in that game, though. Only 4 targets, but it's Courtland Sutton, man. He does throw up these duds from time to time. That was surprisingly tough matchup against the Colts, man.
Game 1, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, I'm actually maybe more worried about like based on where you drafted AJ Brown compared to Courtland Sutton.
100%.
And it's I guess easy to say that because Sutton's outperformed AJ Brown, but AJ Brown will be just fine. And so will Courtland Sutton. Did you talk about the Chargers putting Harris at RB1 on the depth chart? Did that officially happen, Matthew? When did that break? That's why I had these guys in here. I appreciate you in the chat. I just got done doing an hour show where I wasn't looking at my phone. Then I walked my dog. Now I'm on here with this fine gentleman, Ben. Let me know if that actually just dropped. But
shout out Matthew because that is going to make my Najee pick look like pure gold, man.
Yeah, Najee was so disrespectful. Well, it's because there was the uncertainty and unknown of when he was actually going to, be active.
Didn't matter. I would happily going to take him at RB2 in a committee backfield, anyways. I happily would have taken that.
Yeah, we got what kind of players would I have to give up to get a receiver like Nico Collins? I can speak to specifically Nico Collins. He was a top 12 pick typically in fantasy and PPR, maybe top 14 at lowest. I would say his stock has dropped a little bit, so you could get him for a James Cook, I would say. And I don't know if you want to do that, but you can maybe get him for even a little lower running back than that. But I would trade for Nico Collins everywhere because Nico's a stud, and he's all they have there. I think, and here's the thing, I think Christian Kirk's only helps him because Christian Kirk is at least a professional receiver out of the slot. And right now they have no help. It's Dalton Schultz and his 2 rookies. So Christian Kirk is going to take some attention away from him, make that offense hum a little bit more red zone opportunities. And in general, they're going to gel a little better. It's been bad. They're 0-2 right now. Yeah. I like that for Nico Collins. Get that fucker the ball. We got Rudy saying Hawkinson might have to start Ertz this week. I mean, personally, I'm not panicking on Mark Andrews. I'm still starting Mark Andrews if I don't have any better options. Like I'm not starting Juwan Johnson over Andrews. I just won't do it. Hawkinson, I am concerned with, but Carson Wentz loves throwing the tight ends. Loves tight ends, man. Like Carson Wentz. I'm trying to think, dude. He's like a gay dude for tight ends.
I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Yeah, why do I have that clip in there? Because I was watching Roadhouse, and I thought that was a great clip, and I love that clip.
Because why not?
I'm out of control. I would debate starting Ertz over Hawkinson, but like I said, Wentz loves tight ends.
Yeah.
Hawkinson, I give Hawkinson one more week. Although he looks terrible, I would still do one more week on him.
If it was another JJ McCarthy week, then I would have probably favoring more towards starting Ertz. But with it being Carson Wentz and how much he does love his tight ends, I'd go Hawkinson again this week.
Yeah, I used to fuck guys like that in prison. It's on their official website depth chart for the Najee Harris. So that's damning, bro. Like, if anything, why are they doing that? Or is that a message, or is that for real? Because it's bad either way, right? Because like, why are they going to disrespect their rookie that's had a rough time? I don't like Hampton, so I'm fine with it. And I don't have that much Najee, maybe 3 shares. But is it try to trade Genty or Hampton? No, it's actually the worst time to trade those guys. It's time to trade for those guys, specifically Genty, because their stock is never going to be lower, honestly. Genty especially, though. Hampton, you're going to trade for him and sit him on your bench. But if you can get Hampton for, David Montgomery or some shit, like, I'm doing it. Would you do that? Hampton for Montgomery right now? Especially if you're 2-0. If you're 2-0 and you have some guys, let's say you had Javonte Williams that can just hold it for you, I'm doing that trade because these guys
100%.
will be better. Now, a guy I'm not as confident on is RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey, if you wait 2 more weeks and this keeps up, RJ Harvey will be on your motherfucking waiver wire. Which in that case, I'm gonna fucking pick up RJ Harvey.
He technically is listed as their running back one on the website. Interesting.
Yeah, that's nuts. Lloyd says thoughts on Laporta. He'll be fine. The offense looks good now. And the backup tight end had a touchdown. He should have been his touchdown. So they're going to do that from time to time in Detroit. He'll eat. He's not a volume guy, right? Laporta is living off of the 7 or 8 touchdown upside for the season, right? Which is what he's going to do. He's fine. He's not a sexy play, but let's see. Elite says, should I drop Tillman for Wandale? No. Don't do that.
Ooh, no.
Wandale, I get it was a great game. I'm not believing in Wandale like necessarily. He's a plug and play guy. Tillman is the number one there from all target share, snap share, eye test. I love Tillman. Loved him before the year. Love him even more now. And it's going to maybe be a little worse with Joe Flacco out of there week 5 or 6, but Tillman's awesome. And I expect Jerry Jeudy has like 5 drops this year, bro. Every time I look up, I'm watching a Browns game, I see Jerry Jeudy dropping a 3rd down. And that's what Jerry Jeudy does. And Jerry Judy's injury prone. So Fannin or Juwan Johnson? I would say Juwan Johnson for the short term. If you need someone this week, Tim. Long term, it's Fannin for sure. So, and Fannon's still playable. He's still in the top 14 mix, I'd say. He's got probably more upside than those guys that are ranked like 11 through 14, but he also has some inherent downside playing on the Browns. Andre, who doesn't run the ball? The Chargers? Yeah, the Chargers haven't run the ball. They were like the run heaviest team last year, and now they're the pass heaviest team this year. They have the highest pass rate over expected in the NFL. And I think this might have been, I think they're going to revert back to run heavy because Harbaugh's a smart coach. And couldn't you see him coming in the year being like, yeah, like you don't think we have good weapons. You think we're a run heavy team. We drafted a running back in the 1st round and I'm going to come out and throw the ball fucking 70% of the time. And it worked because they won both their games. Now, eventually teams are going to game plan for that. You know what Harbaugh's going to do? Here's 25 fucking carries, Najee or Hampton, probably Najee. See, I think these, they come so quick to me, Benny.
You're so quick with it, man. You're just so quick with it.
What's up, Michael? How you doing, brother? Coleman or T. Higgins? Who should I start? It's still T. Higgins. Let's not get over our 100%. Skis. I'm not worried. It's only been 2 weeks. And T. Higgins had a touchdown last week with Browning at quarterback. And if you remember, I think Chase might have been hurt when Browning was playing, at least part of the stretch when he had the 7 starts. T. Higgins crushed it with Browning.
Yeah.
He had that one game. I know specifically because I was against T. Higgins. It was against the Vikings like week 15 or something. And he had 0 points. He had a goose egg at half, and they were losing by like 21. Fucker ended up with like 28 points. He had that was that badass touchdown he had where he wrapped his hand around the pylon. Yep. Remember that? Where he was getting like pulled back? So T. Higgins, I'm more worried about T. Higgins than Jamar Chase, for instance, in terms of where you drafted them. But T. Higgins is still fucking good ass receiver, and the offense is still gonna hum, man. They have to,
like
because the defense is trash.
Jake Browning's going to like to chuck it. He loves to throw it. So I'm not worried about T. Higgins. It's just a matter of if it goes to the receiver's hands or the defender's hands. That's all I do worry about.
Right. How you doing, Andre? Andre says we should have the most confidence in Harvey because he's behind the last injury-prone player in Dobbins. I get that, but here's two things against that. Dobbins does look great, and yes, he is injury-prone. But first of all, we didn't draft Harvey to be a fucking handcuff, okay? We're not drafting Harvey in the 5th round as a handcuff. We don't draft handcuffs in the 5th. And for 2, are we positive that RJ Harvey would just go into that 70% role? I think it's a committee all year. Now, Tyler Bidet does not comp as like a 3-down back, but they probably bring someone in, dude. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm not just saying RJ Harvey with injury. And the point is, if we're banking on an injury for him to be relevant, it's going to happen eventually. I still believe in RJ Harvey, but it might not be till like week 8. And that's 6 weeks from now.
Yeah, immediate future, I'm not heavy on that. That's something that we're going to see, like you said, week 8, even possibly even later than that. Especially if J.K. Dobbins does stay healthy. I mean, if he, like you said, he is injury prone, so it probably is bound to happen eventually. But if he does continue to stay healthy and look the way he's looked, that's going to push Harvey back even further.
Where I'm not as worried about Travion. The problem is you had to draft Travion in the 3rd or 4th round, and Harvey was 5th. But Travion's talent is undeniable, and the problem is he got three. I think it was 3 holding calls in like a half of a quarter, week 2. And Mike Vrabel is not a guy that's going to just sit by and watch his rookie have holding calls, because all we heard was how good of a pass blocker Travion Henderson is, and yeah, it's good in college when you're fucking pass blocking against 220-pound linebackers, and he's trying to stop me. Now he's got real men. Michael says, need some help. I need to start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. My options are Kenneth Walker, Harrison, and Buka. What's the scoring, Michael? That'll help. But 2 wide receivers and a flex. So you're starting Harrison and Buka for sure. And then if it's PPR, I'm probably going all 3 receivers.
I don't know. I'm almost taking Kenneth Walker over Jacoby Myers. I watched that Vegas game last night. Jacoby Myers did not look very good. I mean, granted, Gino looked like... Though. Yeah, but granted, Gino looked like Gino, but I mean, there were some balls in the middle of his hands, and he just nothing.
Well, I saw that.
All ended up on the ground.
I'm more thinking volume. So in full PPR though, I am going Jacoby Myers just because of the setting. And my worry with Kenneth Walker is the numbers look good last week, but he played 23 snaps and Charbonnet played 30 snaps. So it's still a 50-50. At half PPR, True. I'm going Kenneth Walker, but Marvin Harrison and Buka for sure.
Yeah.
Half PPR, I'm going Walker, and then full it's your pick.
Yeah. I do agree with that.
I think Walker probably has bigger upside than Jacoby Myers because Myers isn't a touchdown guy. But the thing is, with Bowers being banged up, like Bowers looked a little diminished, and he probably should have sat. I bet they wish they sat him now because he played hurt, and he looks like he might be playing hurt until their bye week, which is like week 8. They're a week 8 bye team. So that's not good for Brock Bowers. I'm sorry. Full PPR. I think I'm going Myers. He says Walker. It depends on what you need. If you want safe, I think Jacoby's safe to definitely get between 8 to 12. Or like there's a chance Kenneth Walker gets you 5 or 6. But it's Harrison and Buka, like hands down for sure. No fucking
100%.
Elite says, should I drop Tillman and Zach Ertz? Only other tight end is Mark Andrews. Should I drop Tillman forward Zach Ertz? No, you're rolling with Andrews. I'm keeping Tillman. Roll with Andrews. Yep. I'm telling you, come back to this channel on Monday when a Mark Andrews has 6 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown and thank me later. He might have 2 touchdowns. Who knows? He does it all the time. And if it doesn't happen, then drop him and don't give me shit. Drop Tillman for Scatterbo. You really want to drop Tillman, I see. Scatterbo for sure. Scatterbo is like a priority ad because we didn't think it was going to come this early in the season. With the hamstring injury he had in camp, with only playing 1 preseason game, with week 1 usage, and then week 2, second half, he doubled the snaps of Tracy. And Tracy's a kick returner now, which you don't put your starting running back at kick returner if you're not planning on, giving some of the work away from him. And Scatterbo looked great, bro. He is
someone who has Tracy in his starting lineup. It's looking a little painful, but I mean, Scatterbo's looking good.
Yeah, we thought we had 6 or 7 weeks of Tracy. It appears we had 1 week of Tracy, and that wasn't even a good week. Yeah. Drop Sampson for Tootin. What do you think, Ben?
That's kind of a spicy one.
It is. I think Sampson's probably more playable, maybe, but I don't want to play either of them right now, and Tootin has the more upside down the road. The only X factor is the possible Judkins suspension. but I don't want to rely on that for
True.
my pick here.
No, it's hard to rely on a possibility for the pick. I mean, I think an immediate need, I think Samson's going to get you more value right now. I think long term, it's probably better off having Tootin, but I think if it's something that you're needing the points right now, I'd say stick with Samson. But
I want to talk to Samson. Fly me to the moon like that bitch Alice Kramer.
I want to talk to Samson. See, I could get the actual full feel of the long form pods I released with my editing technique. I'm doing all this chat,
right in there,
hanging out with you. God, I'm like a Renaissance motherfucking man.
We need to put Tech Guy up at yours. We need to put that right there.
Not yet, man. Chase Brown, a hold or a sell. It's definitely a hold, Lloyd.
Hold.
You gotta hold him. He'll be fine. Chase Brown will actually do better now going forward because they were throwing the ball too much. Let's see, has given up Irving and Hunter too much for Nico. Yeah, it is because Irving and Nico are pretty close. You're just giving away a free Hunter. I wouldn't do that, especially in a 10 team. It's close, man. If you really need to see, his running backs are A-Chain, Robinson, A-Chain, Irving.
I'm not opposed, to be honest.
Okay, in a 10-man, you have to do it. Thinking about it, you have to do it.
Yeah.
I would try to trade Mason if I could, just because it's not going to. We don't know if it's a full season thing. I think it's going to be his job going forward, but you're going to have Aaron Jones kind of a thorn in his side,
lurking.
But
yeah, I think
I'm really high on Nico.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is going to be there more than Rashad White will be, but yeah, I'd take Nico in that.
Thoughts on Jalen Warren for flex, full PPR. I could also put in Marv, but worried about his target share. It's Marv by a mile.
Oh, Marv
had one
100%.
bad game. And here's the problem with Marv. Well, that's been the problem with Marv so far is he's had 2 awful game scripts where they've been up by 2 or 3 scores in the first half. Like the Cardinals are a decent team, but just wait for the games where it's competitive or they're losing and Marv's going to eat. Marv looks great. He looks built. He looks quick. I saw him break a tackle. They're using him out of the slot. I saw him have a screen pass. Like they're using him in such better ways than last year. He did have a bad drop on like a 15-yard out in week 2, but his stat line would have been better if he caught that. But either way, that's not really a ringing endorsement of the guy. He had a drop, but Marvin Harrison's that guy, dude. He's fine.
Yeah.
Don't bench Marvin Harrison.
No, not for Jalen Warren, especially.
I guess we forgot on the Kenneth Walker front when that decision. Good call. It's hard to sit Kenneth Walker against New Orleans. That is a good call. So maybe I'm going to change my pick. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I know that, but I wasn't.
Shout out you, Michael.
Olave or Pickens in my flex. Olave is a safe play because apparently he has six catches for 54 yards every game. But Chris Olave has 23 targets through 2 games. 23.
Yeah,
so if it's full PPR, it's close, and I could see going Olave. And half PPR, it's definitely Pickens. The touchdown ability, because I don't know how many touchdowns Olave is going to score, but I can see Olave having an 8 or 9 catch game here soon. Tyler says, is Turpin interesting? He played a lot in the Eagles game. He didn't play as much in that Giants game. I would not put any fab on Turpin. If you want to pick him up, he plays some backfield snaps, but nah.
Yeah, I'm not putting any value on him.
Are you worried about, from Hustle here, are you worried about Pollard? I wish he had more receiving work. I'm not worried. I'm going to be worried. And the reason we drafted Pollard was because we knew we had 5 weeks of elite production. We're getting elite usage. We're not getting elite production yet, especially in the receiving game, as you noted. But he's fine. The offense is slowly getting better. Pollard looks good. I'm a little worried about his production, but at this point, who you're starting over him? I'm still starting Pollard as an RB2 unless I have a way better option. Like I'm starting Mason over Pollard, but I'm starting Pollard over Montgomery. I'm starting Pollard over RJ Harvey. I'm starting Pollard over Henderson, over Hampton, guys like that.
Over Tracy.
Definitely over Tracy. Thinking of picking up Browning. What's your thoughts? Browning is fine to pick up. I'm guessing you lost Burrow. But here's the problem with Browning is he plays the Vikings this week. You can't play him this week. It's not going to be pretty. That's going to be a pretty gross game. But rest of the season, I like Browning. So if you could stomach, if you have no other choice, you don't have 2 roster spots to pick up 2 quarterbacks, you could stomach maybe losing this week or getting 15 points in your quarterback. Browning's fine this week. But rest of the season, I would probably rank Browning in the Trevor Lawrence category, like 18 to 20, right? Because he still has a Joe Burrow situation.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got T. Higgins. He still has Jamar Chase. He's still going to be throwing the checkdowns to Chase Brown. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily worried about him. I'm worried about him against the Vikings, but not too much the rest of the season.
100%. 14-man PPR, Franklin or Io Manor or Calvin Austin or Damie Brown. It's got to be Io Manor as a stash or Franklin. Calvin Austin, no. Dammy Brown is too inconsistent. I love Dammy Brown, but
At
if you
that
have
point, then who?
don't drop Brandon Ayuk, because if you have a IR spot, keep Ayuk.
Yeah, I agree with that. If there's an IR spot, keep Ayuk. But at that point, who are you taking, Franklin or Io Manor? Who would you rather have there?
As a stash, Io Manor.
Yeah. All right.
But my thing is, if he's
I
talking
like
about a stash, like if there's an IR spot, even if there's not an IR spot, I think I want Ayuk over all those guys. I mean, they're going to need him. They're going to need him.
Yeah, that is very, very true.
Tied to a better offense. Chubb. Is Chubb a good backup? Chubb's a starter right now, kind of, and he's fine. You can play Chubb from week to week, depending on the matchup. The times will be better in Houston going forward. I promise you that.
Well, I mean, especially if they can't throw the ball.
Kenneth Walker, 100%. Dude, Quinton Johnson, I said it last week, and he burned me, and he had a good game. Like, the second, and a lot of people I don't think started Quinton Johnson. I think it was more like on their bench. But the second you start Quinton Johnson, he's going to give you 2 for 12.
Yeah, you got to keep giving it to Walker. And especially playing the Saints this week, too. You got to give it to him.
Hustle says, thoughts on Judkins in my league. I think he has upside to be like Bucky. He doesn't have upside to be like Bucky because that offense is still doo-doo. And Bucky was a good player that was paired with an elite offense. And we talked about the suspension risk. Like, I like Bucky, or I like Judkins. I wouldn't trade for him, and he's going to be, we said the quote was, he's going to be relevant this year. We don't know if he's going to be a league winner, but I mean, if you can pick him up on waivers, do that.
It's possible.
Yeah. Tyler says, you guys like rostering handcuff RBs or wide receivers like Franklin or something? Ben, what do I usually do? You know what I do.
I know what you do. You tell me what you do.
Men. No, I'm a handcuff guy. I want all the handcuff running backs. My most owned players this year are Algier, Benson. I have some Mason, some Charbonnet, and Dowdle. Blake Corum is my actual most owned player this year, and I'm so excited with what's going on there.
I have never seen a man get so excited to handcuff a running back like this man right above me.
And I don't really handcuff my own running backs unless it's like Bijan. I handcuff other running backs, because then I can have 2 of them, and then I have trade value. And if it doesn't work when bye weeks come, you just cut bait. But
he plays a long game. You are playing checkers. This man is playing fucking chess, and I kid you
not. Yeah, dude. He said, is Scatterbo a bigger priority than securing Packers defense? I always going to prioritize a running back.
Running back, yep, 100%.
But if there ever was a defense to compete with a running back, it would be the Packers, it appears, because we haven't even gotten the full Micah Parsons experience yet. Yeah. And they've been dominant. And when that day comes, I just know it's hard, man. We always think, look at the Broncos. I know the thing is the Broncos were more a projection, but last year they were the best defense, and they've been bad for a fantasy defense. They had a good week 1 against the Titans, and then they were bad last week. They got you 2 points. I know for a fact because I have them in our league, Ben, and I'm still rolling with the Broncos. I'm just saying, week to week is tough too, because they're going to have games against the Lions, even though they dominated the Lions, but they're going to play the Eagles. They're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to hold that much value in a defense every single week. I mean, granted it's the Packers, but it's tough to hold that value.
Yeah. I still believe in Ayuk, but I got Joe Mixon in the IR. Oh, get rid of Joe Mixon, bro. Joe Mixon's out. Joe Mixon's not playing football this year. I say it in every show. They haven't given us any news on Joe Mixon. It's week 3. And even if Joe Mixon comes back week 8, for instance, you're not going to be able to start him for 3 weeks because he's going to be sharing work. We got to see how he looks. So definitely, I want Ayuk in my IR, and I want to pick up Io Manor if it's a stash. -5 for Broncos D, depending on the scoring system. You're right. Yeah. Most of mine don't go that low, but thoughts on Falcons defense versus Carolina this week? Falcons defense looks like a monster, man. Their pass rush. They spent 2 first-rounders on pass rushers. They brought in the ex-Bears player. Who is it, Ben, that they have? Floyd. Floyd.
Yeah, Leonard Floyd.
Yeah, Leonard Floyd, who is pretty good pass rusher. So they have some good ends there. They're playing aggressive. I like their secondary, at least on paper. So in the matchup against Carolina, you're playing against a pipsqueak. Yeah. You're playing against a midget. Yeah. So
anybody playing against Carolina is honestly a pretty good pickup.
Yeah, you definitely want to play every defense against Bryce Young. Yeah. Don't you? Is that right? Oh shit, the Colts play.
Yeah. Is that piss? Is that piss?
You might as well pull over. It's just gonna keep yelling.
Jesus Christ, D! I'm covered in piss!
Well, maybe you shouldn't have had your window down.
Maybe you shouldn't be throwing jars of pee out the window.
Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. It's up for debate.
You shouldn't!
Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. It's up for debate. But that's not up for debate. We're going to be starting the Falcons defense. I have them as one of my priority defensive pickups. The Seahawks are my number one this week. So the Seahawks are my number one defense just because they're at home against the Saints. But Falcons would be number 2 for me probably. Junk Buster. Hey, dude, that's a fucking badass name, man.
Oh, yeah. What's
up,
up,
Jordan
Buster?
Jordan Mason or DK Metcalf in a flex full PPR. Full PPR would make me think that you want DK Metcalf, but Jordan Mason is in line for 20-plus touches.
Yeah,
Vikings are in a bounce-back
Aaron
spot.
Jones being hurt.
Yeah, and you got Carson Wentz in there now. It's Jordan Mason, man. As much as I love DK Metcalf, it pains me to say. Now, DK could go off for an 80-yard bomb and you're going to feel like stupid, but if that doesn't happen, Jordan Mason will outscore him. So I would say 7 out of 10 times, they played these games 10 times, 7 times, Mason would be the play. So we want to go our numbers here, right? Law of averages. Ronan has Stevenson, JCM, or Judkins half PPR. Probably JCM, dude. I'm going to take the home run shot on that one. If you want to be safe, it's Stevenson. But I think the last one I'm going to play there is Judkins, just until I see what the usage is, right?
I almost even think JCM is a safe play because, I mean, we've seen Travion Henderson be getting kind of more, kind of not at the same time. It's still hard with that committee back right now and how Vrabel's using Henderson, but I would almost put JCM as a safe play there regardless.
Yeah, better IR stash, Ayuk or Aaron Jones. It's Ayuk, and I hate Ayuk, man, but Aaron Jones is fucking done, son.
Especially with Mason there, dude.
Mason was already taking his job before the injury, right?
Both of them healthy. Mason was going to take that job.
Shane says Atlanta or Seattle, both great choices. I am probably going Seattle, like I said. But you can't go wrong with either one. But Seattle's just got the safer floor because they're, I think, a better defense at home, 12th man, Seattle, tough place to play. Spencer Rattler, need I say more? Would you all drop Brian Robinson Jr. for Ramondre Stevenson? Alec Iomanor is on waivers as well. If you need a guy to play, I could see picking up Stevenson, but Brian Robinson's a must roster because he's a good player, right? And they traded for him for a reason. And he's behind not only one of the most fragile running backs in the league, a running back that's getting 30 touches a game. So Brian Robinson, where would you rank, Ben? Where would you rank Brian Robinson? Let's say McCaffrey gets hurt next week, and then you have week 4, week 5, week 6 of Brian Robinson Jr. Where would he be, depending on the matchup, whatever? Let's say it's neutral matchups. Where would you rank Brian Robinson Jr. in your weekly rankings at running back? It's got to be top 13, right? Top 12, top 10?
I was going to say top 12 at least. I mean, top 12 is bare.
Yeah, it'd be like the Mason situation where we're ranking Mason right now.
I mean,
maybe even better because you got the Niners fucking run game.
For engineer here, for responding to you here, I would pick up Ramondre Stevenson if you are needing points, but I wouldn't let it be for Brian Robinson. Do whatever you can to keep Brian Robinson. If you have somebody else dumpable from your team, go get Stevenson if you need the points. I'd still take Stevenson over Iomanor, but keep Brian Robinson because there is going to be games that McCaffrey's either going to get hurt or he's just not going to play for rest. Brian Robinson's getting 30 touches those games.
Yeah. Should I start Mason or ETN? It's Mason for me.
Mason.
I cannot I can never leave him off my bench. I'm starting him over really good players. I'm starting him over Olave and over DK and receivers in full PPR. I'm starting him over Kenneth Walker at running back. I'm trying to think of a better example, like Swift. I'm starting him over Swift. I'm starting him over Pollard. I'm starting him over RB2s. And Junkbuster says, thanks for the advice, brother, and compliment. Well, it's an easy compliment. Junkbuster. Fucking great.
Junkbuster.
We got
Great
Brian
name,
Payton in here. Told you Seahawks. You did say that. Thanks, Fab for scat, says Shane. That's a cool thing to say. Fab for scat. Dude, a lot, man. A lot. If it's a 12-team league, I'm thinking 50%. Honestly,
that much.
It looks like he's a starter, bro. I think he's a starter. When are you going to get a chance to get a starting running back? And it's early in the year too. It's when you wait and you get a guy like Scatterbo week 13, it's not as valuable. You have an every week starter possibly, and we like the player.
Yeah, I do see that value there. I mean, I was thinking probably more in the 40-ish range, but I can see going up to 50 for him.
Hey, we got a Donald Trump icon in here. Brown's the best. What your retards on? See, that might be one of the worst comments I've ever read, and I can give you. I mean, if you have an hour, I can explain to you why they're the worst franchise. Typically, the Deshaun Watson thing is awful. All the draft capital contract. Okay, and then the fact they gave up on Baker Mayfield and got a 6th-round pick for the guy, and now he's a perennial Pro Bowler. Just to say a couple things. That is why the Browns are
one reason and one reason only. They ruined Johnny Football.
And they drafted Johnny Football too.
Not that they drafted him. They ruined him.
Well, no, he ruined himself. Come on.
No, he was going to be better than Tom Brady.
You're crazy. Should I drop
No.
Brian Robinson for Jalen Warren? Only drop him if you need points now. If you need a starter, if he's going to sit in your bench, Jalen Warren's never going to increase in value. That one I could probably see more, but
I mean, I get the lure of wanting to drop Brian Robinson, but at the same time, too, like you got to just look past that. Brian Robinson is a must keep in damn near every league.
Jason says quarterback for the week to pick up Dak, May, or Love. For the week, I think it's probably Dak. For the season, it's between. I mean, they're all good options, dude. I like Drake May upside for the season, but Dak is fine. If it's 6 for a passing touchdown, it's Dak. If it's 4 for a passing touchdown, it's May. And then the safe floor play either way is Love.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I do like Drake May.
Bigsby. Yeah, Tank Bigsby we didn't mention. He's a good handcuff. How much fab would you spend on Wano Robinson, Troy Franklin, and Tucker Kraft? Tucker Kraft, the boat, man. The boat. Tucker Kraft's the number 1 tight end of fantasy right now. If you had watched this show, I had him my hot takes. He's a top 3 tight end. I had him as my number 1 pillar player. I have Tucker Kraft everywhere, 11 leagues. Tucker Kraft is going to be a top 5 tight end for sure. Kraft and Warren are a real deal. Yeah, you took him before me, but I got Tyler Warren.
True. Fair.
Mason last year got 1,000 yards for crying out loud. I don't think it was 1,000 yards, but he was, I think he played 5 games and he had like 750. That was also with an awesome team like the Niners, but he's in a good situation now. They're not as good of a running team as the Niners. I'm talking about the Vikings, but it's a good situation. There's no one behind him. They just signed Cam Akers again. Like, you know what's funny? I heard, you remember they traded for Cam Akers. The Vikings traded for Cam Akers 2 consecutive years, and then now they just picked him up. So they have acquired Cam Akers 3 times. Like, why don't you just keep him if you love him so much?
Maybe they don't love him enough to keep him, but they love him to bring him back.
How much should I spend on Goff? I think that's Goff. It says Joff, but it's Goff. I currently have him for $6 only for the week because no Fields. I mean, not that much because there's so many quarterbacks available.
So many better options available.
Engineer, Packers defense is probably the number 1 roster defense you want to have season long.
Yeah.
I put them ahead of the Broncos now. What's a bigger priority, securing Justin Herbert or Mason? I'm stacked at running back, and my only quarterback is Fields. Both, but if you have to choose, man, it's so hard. I would pick up Mason and just fucking trade him, because then you can just get a quarterback. You can get Justin. You know what I'm saying? You can get someone better. Like, and I like Herbert. I think he's a little overvalued right now. Like, I'm not starting Herbert over Jalen Hurts. Someone told me that earlier. I'm like, I'm still not doing that.
No.
Diggs or Pittman and flex this week from Lloyd. It's Pittman. We got to wait a little bit longer 100%. To see what's up with Diggs. Oh, Blake says they ruined Tim Couch too. That's right. Pretty sure CMC is hurt right now. I mean, he's kind of hurt. He's been playing through it. He looks fine though. Do I drop Butte for Troy Franklin on my bench? That's a 50-50, man. They both have the same role.
Yeah, you're going to get the same production out of both of them, honestly.
Junk Buster says Cam Akers can block. That's why. Shane says Tootin and Scat on waivers this week. I have Caleb Johnson currently as my RB3, and I have 52 fab left. Who did you spend the other 48 on? I'm curious, but it's Scat over Tootin. But I mean, I hate to spend all $50 on if you have only 52 left. Maybe 25 on Scat, just because I'm big into Scat. If it's a 12-team league, you're getting a starting running back most likely.
If you only have 52 left, I wouldn't
every day.
I wouldn't maybe necessarily go 25 on him. I'd try to get him for 20 or less, but.
Peyton, see, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. I love you, Peyton, but he said I would start Herbert over Hurts every day this year. I mean, we're going off a 2-game sample size. I know Herbert's had a good career. His rookie year, he had 5,000 yards passing, blah, 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 blah. Jalen Hurts is a top 4 fantasy quarterback every year. I hate Jalen Hurts, but like the tush push, he's going to have 15 rushing touchdowns this year. And like, they're going to start throwing the ball more. Their defense doesn't look that great. Like, this is a losing strategy to like just flavor the month that shit. Justin Herbert's a top 12 quarterback this year. I'm not debating that, but like, and I fucking hate Jalen Hurts. You know how much I hate Jalen Hurts, man. But I mean, I'm not going that far yet.
we've seen these two quarterbacks start in the two different ways, because we've seen Justin Herbert, who was a very run-heavy offense last year, just come out and sling the ball like there's no tomorrow. We've seen Jalen Hurts, who usually has a good combination of 200 passing yards with his 50 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
We're not seeing that passing production. We're seeing him get the push, everything like that. That's normal. We're always going to see that out of Jalen Hurts, but you can't take that, because that Harbaugh team is going to come back to reality. We're going to run the ball. Najee Harris is going to be gold. Jalen Hurts is going to take off. He's going to get
AJ Brown's not going to be the 83rd ranked fantasy
No.
receiver right now. Think about that. And Devontae Smith's outside the top 48. Like, that shit ain't going to continue, man. Is $11 for Wan'Dale Robinson too much? Probably. I'm just not going to believe it. Again, 1 week. Wan'Dale's been fine. He's safe. He's a solid like wide receiver 4. In PPR, maybe bleeding into the wide receiver 3s, but there's so many of those guys available. I'm saving my fab for the running back injuries and guys like that. And like Cam Scatterbo this year.
It's hard to put that much trust into Robinson. I'd rather put money into Scatterbo.
Junkbuster says, you guys think Seattle's RB committee will continue to split carries like this? What's the vibe on Kenneth Walker for you guys? I'm going to go charge my phone real quick, Ben. You answer that one. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to continue heavily, if not that. I mean, we already saw last week it was 30 to 23. We saw Charbonnet have 30 carries. I mean, seeing Kenneth Walker, see him get the production back, it's good to see. I mean, hopefully that means we're going to see more carries and more touches out of him, hopefully leaning back into his favor, but it's hard. Charbonnet is a really good running back, and he's looking like he wants to take the top spot. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see less production out of Kenneth Walker in the coming weeks and more out of Charbonnet.
I couldn't agree more. I appreciate that, Ben. Thank you for holding it down. Peyton's still talking about the Herbert thing. I mean, I get it if you want to, and I understand the reasoning behind it. I'm just going to go more long-term sample size, and Jalen Hurts, unless it's just not his year, but he did have 2 rushing touchdowns week 1. Still had another one. He's going to have one every week, it appears. And like he's going to have games where he throws for 250 yards. And that's just not going to be beaten by Herbert. T-Mac or a Mecca? It's probably T-Mac, bro. He's the number 1 there, and you're getting Godwin back at some point. I'd rather have T-Mac. As much as it pains me, because I'm not a T-Mac guy. I was wrong on that one, but I'm willing to say I'm wrong, and I would rather have T-Mac.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a T-Mac guy, but I'm also an Emeka guy. I think immediate future, it's probably Emeka, but for the rest, immediate future, I only mean until Godwin's back. Once Godwin's back, that's going to drop off pretty significantly, so I'd go T-Mac still.
We got Lloyd saying, I dropped Scat week 1 for Tootin, feeling it now. That's a crazy, like, roller coaster of emotions, because you did it. I get it, because Scatterbo looked like a 6-7 week project. And then they trade Tank Bigsby, and you're like, I won that because now I have Tootin, who's the RB2. And then now this week you have Scatterbo playing ahead of Tracy in the second half, and Tracy returning kicks, and it looks like Scat's the 1A in that situation. And so, but I don't blame you for that move, man, because I think we all had Tootin higher ranked at that point. So, or if it was Trey Benson, okay. Either way, I can see Trey Benson more, because Trey Benson's fucking elite handcuff. Like Jalen really isn't even a top 5, maybe top 10 quarterback all around, but in fantasy you can't pass him up. Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts is one of the most overrated quarterbacks. Like he has an illegal rugby play that makes him relevant, and he has the best O-line and elite Pro Bowl receivers. So if you put Jalen Hurts without the tush push on like the Raiders, he's like out of the league.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it doesn't matter. He's in a good spot.
The amount of arguments we would get into with who about Jalen Hurts at work. I mean, I can't believe people think that highly of Jalen Hurts. Fantasy wise, yes, one of the great. I mean, it's him and Justin Fields are like Justin Fields, Lamar, the 3 like kings of fantasy quarterbacks, real life quarterbacks. I like Lamar.
Yeah. I
like Justin. I hate Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is, I mean, he's a nice guy and all, I guess. Kamara or ETN, Chase Brown running back 1. I'm going Kamara, dude. Kamara and Chase Brown. ETN still got to show me a couple more weeks of this usage. Tootin's eating into it. They still play LaQuinn Allen, and it's a Jaguars player. Overspent on QJ and Booty. Yeah, everyone. Well, QJ is fine. I mean, you're going to start him and get 4 points next time. Start 1, Nick Chubb, Jalen Warren, Kupp, or Pittman. Let's just assume this is full PPR since he threw the wide receivers in there. I'm starting Pittman. Man, in full PPR, Pittman or Jalen Warren.
Ooh, I'd almost go Chubb over Jalen Warren.
Really, Warren had a good
I'm
week.
not
Like
like-
he really.
I know, but I don't really like what I've been seeing out of Jalen Warren. And how shaky this Houston offense has been, and especially not having those weapons back for wide receivers, I do like the way they've been leaning on Nick Chubb.
And it's tough to trust an Arthur Smith running back week to week.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
I mean, I'm still putting Pittman
Brees-
above all of them, but
Brees gets more than Kenneth Walker, but I feel like it's similar to how they're going to use him in Seattle. Yeah, but they haven't been using Braylon Allen very much, so that's why I'm not worried about Brees Hall. That was just a fucked up game for everyone in the Jets. Jason says start 2, Pollard, Swift, Myers, Judy. Let's assume this is PPR again, unless I hear differently. Pollard and Myers, or Pollard and Swift? I think. I want the touches.
I'd probably go Pollard and Swift. I'm not putting Judy in there, and I'm standing firm on my stance on Myers. I'm going Pollard and Swift.
Definitely keep James Conner, and you have the choice of Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson. That's pretty badass. You're starting Lamar Jackson over. As much as we were just slurping Jalen Hurts for fantasy, Lamar Jackson can never be benched ever. Don't ever do it. He is a stud. I have Bill and Judkins stashed in a 12-man half PPR. Around what week do you think they become playable? JCM's probably playable now going forward with what we expect the usage is going to be. Judkins, you got to wait and see a little bit, but they will both be relevant soon.
Yeah, I mean, depending on your
Eagles
other running backs, I think JCM is probably playable right now.
Peyton says, "Is Tootin good enough to
Eagles
steal the
fans.
RB1? Is Tootin good enough to be the RB1? Yeah, to steal the RB1. I don't know if you saw his touchdown reception, dude. That guy is like, he's a brick shit house, man. He's like 5'9",
No, I
210.
didn't see it. I'll have to go look it up.
He moves like Bucky Irving, and he's powerful. Like, dude, Tootin's got all the ability. ETN's an upright runner who, I don't know, they tried to give him away. I believe that Tootin will steal that job at some point. Thoughts on Kyler Murray rest of the season? Kyler Murray is Kyler Murray. He's going to be quarterback 10. It's going to be a bumpy ride. But Kyler Murray's fine, especially with all the injuries. Like, Kyler Murray's a fine top 12 play. You're going to have some big weeks and have some bad weeks, but he runs, which is nice. What are your thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray's going to be Kyler Murray. I'm not a big fan of him. I'm more of a fan of him than I am Jalen Hurts. But real football-wise, fantasy-wise, I'm still taking Jalen Hurts. But I do like Kyler Murray, especially with the weapons he has.
We got an ex-Ohio State quarterback question. Stroud is available in one of my leagues, but I do not like him at all. What are your thoughts on him? Way better real-life quarterback than fantasy quarterback, and right now it's appearing like that's not even the case. So, no, their defense is way too good to support a good fantasy quarterback, and he doesn't run enough. So I would rather have Trevor Lawrence than CJ Stroud, as an example.
Yeah, I mean, he's very much in the Trevor Lawrence category, but I'm still in as much as I love CJ Stroud, I will take T-Law on that one.
Is a Marion a sell? I'm not encouraged by the Chargers run game. You can't sell him because you're not going to get anything for him. So if you want to get back like 50 cents on the dollar, maybe you could get that. It might even be less. So I'm holding him because I mean, I guess his stock could get lower if he like only plays 30% of the snaps this week, but I'm not selling him. It was always going to be a rough ride. We didn't think it was going to be this rough, but you're keeping a Marion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to put that much stock into a rookie running back, regardless of the situation. And I mean, this situation, you had Najee coming behind him. So I definitely still would not sell, but it's tough to put that much stock into him.
Bobby, what's going on, Bobby? Who do I flex? I got Hill, Sutton as a wide receiver. I got Gibbs, Chase Brown, Kamara, Kyron, Javonte, Hampton. You got to start the two receivers, obviously, and then Gibbs is playing, Chase Brown's playing, Kamara's playing. And then I'd have Javonte over Kyron and Hampton, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the three running backs first you listed, and then Javonte over Kyron, if you can do that.
Yep.
Drop Butker for Schrader on the Colts. Probably, man. Although Butker missed a field goal week 2, and their offense is not going to be good until week 7. Should I start Bill or Walker? JCM or Walker? I'm still starting Walker. Ben, I think, what is your play?
Yeah, I'm probably still starting. I'm starting Walker. I mean, JCM we saw last week. I know, granted, it might be a different quarterback situation if Mariota plays, but I'm still starting Walker.
Those new to the channel, we call Kenneth Walker the tiny dancer on this. He's a
Tiny
tiny
dancer.
dancer. He's actually not that tiny, but he's a fucking dancer, bro.
He's a dancer. It's perfect
what
timing
do we
because
got?
Dancing with the Stars just started too.
No shit. Should I start Cup in exchange for Jefferson? No. You're not starting Cup. You should probably drop Cup. It's his first year playing, so I understand. Like Cooper Kupp was a huge name.
Especially not
Mark
in front
says
of any of those.
my RB2 situation is chalked. Start 1: Benson, Sharp, Judkins, Harvey. It's Sharp. I think it's Sharp this week, especially because you have the
Sharp.
It's a good matchup. I would probably rank it Sharp, Judkins. Judkins is close because he's an X factor that could maybe get 15 touches, but I'm pretty sure Sharp's already going to get 12 or 14 in a really good game script against a bad defense. What happened to Hampton yesterday? He looked awful. He fumbled at the end. He got benched. He's bad. That's
and Najee is better.
So, is Danny Dimes better than Lawrence? I mean, probably fantasy wise. Who would you rather have, Ben? Danny Dimes or Lawrence?
Ooh, I'm taking Danny Tyler every day of the week.
Yeah, I think you have to. That offense looks better, but it's close for me. Ride Bill's defense. Well, this week you do because they play the Dolphins, and that's easy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at Elite. What a nice guy. His name's Miles, by the way. I do remember your name. I was lit up last night, Miles. But you're the best, Rob. Thanks, man. Hopefully, get the word out if you could. Hey, get the word out, Ben. Now, Ben here is my oldest fan.
Hey, don't tell me.
You've been with the channel since day one. You've watched every pod, I think, almost every pod, every minute of every pod, right?
Every single one, every second of every podcast.
So tell the people in here right now why they should subscribe, why they should check out the channel, and it's more than just fantasy football, but right now it's fantasy football. Tell them why.
Well, I mean, it depends what episode you're watching because you might either get the best hour of your life, you also might get the best 2.5 hours of your life. It just depends which episode you're watching, but I promise you will not be disappointed. And you get to watch this man for that long, just entertain you.
And
you're not going to miss it.
No, and you get really good information. And like I'm telling you, I played 25 fantasy leagues for the last 10 years, like every year.
Oh yeah.
No one plays more than me.
When it comes to just the football episodes alone, the amount of information you're going to take out of there, then let's talk about the betting segments, the amount of money you're going to win just from those bets. And then you talk about just the regular podcast episodes about other stuff. Rob's Roundtable, Story Time with Rob. I mean, we can just name it.
Movie deep dives.
Everything.
You know what, man? Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, you guys, I mean, obviously a lot of you guys have been coming back. So I'm guessing that's an inclination. And I see what's out there. There's a lot of bad information and then just boring ass faggots. Oh shit, I can't say that word. Boring F words. I'm gonna get screwed. They're not actually gay, but just people that are actually rude too in the comments. Like, whatever, dude. If you want to waste your time with those guys, that's cool. I still watch them because I laugh at them a lot of times, and I get some good information, like fantasy pros, fantasy footballers. Try getting your question on fantasy footballers. It ain't happening. Let's see. Start Hampton over Kamara. Seattle will. You're starting Kamara for sure. Do you think trading for JT is advised? JT, he's playing a lot of snaps, but you're definitely JT, baby. If you can get him for at cost right now. Josh Jacobs or James Cook rest of the season. I'm still rolling with Josh Jacobs. James Cook's going to have some inconsistent games from time to time. We've seen it happen before. It'll happen again. They're going to start using some of their ancillary pieces more. So for me, it's definitely Josh Jacobs, but it's getting closer. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, it is getting closer. I think I'm still taking Josh Jacobs just because of kind of the bona fide back that he is. I mean, granted, James Cook is becoming that too. He just got paid. He's been playing great. But Josh Jacobs, I did just see something for the last 11 weeks. If you rolled over $100 on Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown all the way till now, you would be at 48K. It's just insane to think about.
Yeah. Baden says, what's going on, man? Pick up Danny Dimes at Tennessee or Matt Stafford at Philadelphia. It's Dimes against Tennessee. That's a tough matchup against Philly. A-Chain and JT are top 5 rest of the season. JT more so than A-Chain just because he could be more fluky and injury prone. Mm-hmm. And that offense is more of a question mark. Let's see. Should I secure Najee or Troy Franklin? It's Najee. If you don't need a receiver right now, it's Najee for sure.
Take Najee.
Najee has one eye. I'd look into that. Yeah, well, apparently Najee with one eye has better vision than he had with 2 eyes because he looked good yesterday. No problem, Mark. I appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully you subscribed. And I'm gonna be doing this 7 days a week, so you're gonna get a lot of information, a lot of different shows. You gotta check out the gambling show, baby. You want to make some money. Engineers, Brown. Does Chase Brown still have value? I think Chase Brown is a buy low for me right now because they're gonna lean on that running game a little bit more. Chase Brown's a good player. He's still playing all this.
I obviously don't think he has the same amount of value that he was drafted at, but he's still got a lot of more value than a lot of other running backs out there.
Blake says, who's someone you think might have a big week that's not really projected a lot? It's Mark Andrews for me. That's a guy that's going to be projected low that I think is going to have a big week. And it's just a lot. Like, there's so many names coming to my mind that I'll get back to me later in the week, and I'm sure you'll be one of these episodes, Blake, and I will get you a better name. Junkbuster, nice vibe going here, fellas. New sub. Hey-oh. And, well, also we have a name in the chat as Junkbuster, so we appreciate you. And I will, if not physically smile, because I can't just be smiling and talking the whole time, I will be mentally and in my heart smiling every time I see that name come up, because that's a great name. Just don't bust my junk, all right?
Junkbuster, you by far have the best name coming up in the chat.
CK says Saturdays alone are worth it. That's a fun show. It's a real late night show. This week might even be later, but you make some money. We make some good bets, good camaraderie, and it's just a great time, man. Red Gatorade is your go-to. I prefer blue. That's what my wife bought. My go-to, if you just joined, it's drinking about 20 beers in these streams. So this is one of the few, like, I'll drink in the early, like, Sunday morning start set show. I'm not drinking beer. I'm drinking coffee. But I'm always doing some type of drug, right? Because caffeine's a drug. And good thing I bumped like 4 lines in the bathroom before this. So, yeah, I'm still rolling. But, yeah, usually it's just a light beer with a lemon or a lime. In the winter, I'll drink some IPAs. But yeah, I don't mind. All the colors are good. Blue is the best color. In the chat, what's your favorite Gatorade color? What's yours, Benny?
Ooh, I might have to do. Ooh, that's a great question, actually.
I like purple, the purple frost.
I wanted to say red, but I probably will go with blue.
We all agree yellow's the worst. Fucking yellow tastes like piss. Looks like piss. I like this quote here from One Click, Infinite Vibe. Subscribe and let's roll. Also, that's one hell of a good friend. Ben is a really good friend. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. Danny Dimes, Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, or Russell Wilson. Danny Dimes. Again, I'm not as bullish on Danny Dimes' rest of season, but compared to those guys, CK, I'm getting into the betting this week. Well, I am 7-1 on my big bets, so hopefully I don't let you down. But usually at worst, I'll go 500 in like a bad week, like 2-2 or something.
Hey,
5-0 is hard to do.
You better know what show to tune into, CK, because you'll be making money this week.
Elite said, I never heard of Andrew Kirchhoff. Is he Russian? But Russians are cool. They're cool. Some slutty women too. Mason or Pearsall on the flex. Yeah, I just throw that in there. Mason or Pearsall on the flex. It's Mason, bro. I can't think of like who are we starting? Like, I have to have Mason in my lineup. I have to have it. Like,
yeah,
I have to.
I can't find a single name that I'm putting above Mason.
Besides, like the obvious guys of like Gibbs and fucking those dudes, right?
Well,
and like your Drake Londons and those dudes.
But those shouldn't even be a question. Like everything that you're coming up like thinking like, oh, should I put this guy or Mason? Like that's when it's bona fide Mason.
Yeah, I'm afraid Jaden Daniels is struggling. He is. Try not to overreact. The nice thing about Jaden Daniels is no matter how bad he does in real life in terms of takes a step back as a passer, which we all expected this year, his legs are going to keep him relevant. As long as that knee injury doesn't linger and they need to bench him for a week or two, get him healthy, he'll be fine. CK has drop stash. Giddens and pick up Corum. No. Oh, yeah. Corum. We want Corum. Corum is possibly going to take over that job. And I want the starting running back on the Rams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would do. I would definitely agree with that.
Chase McLaughlin, a good kicker to have. No, he missed a pretty easy field goal. They are pretty aggressive on fourth downs. I'd rather have Little on
They're going to go for it.
Little's probably available from the Jags. Grab him. I still like Will Lutz as well. Walker is only projected like 12 versus New Orleans. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. He should be projected higher. Baden says T. Higgins, Pickens, Ladd, Jacoby, Quentin Johnson, Kelvin Ridley. What do we do with these wide receivers? Who would I want to trade high on? I'd want to trade Jacoby Myers and Quentin Johnston right now because the other guys are all depressed in value from where you drafted them. So those are the guys you want to trade. Other than that, you hold pat because you don't want to trade Higgins, Pickens, Ladd. Definitely not Ladd. He'll do better.
No.
Came across your channel last night at 2 a.m. Already sub. Thoughts on Chase with no Burrow? Is this Jamar Chase? Also, what about Bowers with how last night game went? I'm worried about Bowers. I can't believe they played Bowers last night. He has a bulky ass fucking brace on his knee. He looked like
gnarly,
Michael Mayer.
dude.
Michael Mayer and him. I didn't know that, and they look very similar. They're both white. They're both 6'4". They look the same. So
I saw him on just like a regular in motion for a run play, like just in out in. I mean, my God! As soon as he cut back to move out, dude, he looked like he was just moving so slow and so gingerly.
If I'm a Bowers owner, I'm trading him right now because he's way more likely to get hurt again now. Hurt another knee, hurt an ankle, or that same knee. And he's going to be diminished. He's going to play less snaps than we expect. That offense looks rough. I'd rather have Trey McBride over him. I'm not saying I want Tucker Kraft or Warren over him just yet, but you drafted him a full round ahead of McBride typically, and I'm really worried.
It's getting to that point.
I don't have any of them, so.
And I mean, Mark,
should I scoop up Rashad White? Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, going back to like the Chase with Burrows, I mean, regardless of which Chase it is, like I'm still not too worried on that.
Yeah, I'm more worried about T. Higgins. So T. Higgins is my worry. Is in terms of where you drafted him, can he return value? Jamar Chase might go from the number 1 overall receiver to number 3, but it's still fucking Jamar Chase. He's gonna be blow up weeks, so not worried there. Should I scoop Rashad White or Romeo Doubs? If you need a startable wide receiver, someone to get you through a couple weeks, it's Romeo Doubs. I would probably prefer. The problem with Rashad White is we don't know if he's actually the handcuff. Now he's going to be a borderline RB3, as we saw for like flex value. But if something happens to Bucky Irving, I'm pretty convinced that Sean Tucker is going to get 50% of the work there. They love Sean Tucker. So that's the problem with Rashad White. I'd rather have Blake Corum if I want a handcuff because Blake Corum is going to be the dude.
Yeah, that I do definitely agree with.
Ooh, Blake says Orange is slept on. Yeah, Orange is a classic.
Ooh, I do.
I don't know if my question went through, but $11 on Wan'Dale Robinson too much. Yeah, did I? Sorry, I missed that, Jason. There's a lot of stuff to do here. But $11 is probably too much for Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't want that. Any running backs or wide receivers worth a waiver this week? Not worth a waiver. I would say not worth a waiver. Worth a pickup. You know, there's a difference, right? Waiver, you lose your claim and you go down to the bottom. I would wait 2 a.m. That's what I'm doing right now in 15 minutes. I got to get off in 15 minutes, by the way, guys, to go through and get all my defenses and kickers and stashes. But I'd say it is the guys. Woody Marks. Woody Marks is a good one. That's in deep leagues. He's available everywhere. So go Mason over Herbert in priority. What about Mason or Kraft? God, that's so many good options. I like all those guys. For me, it's what you need the most. What are you prioritizing you need the most? Because those guys are all pretty even in terms of their. I think Mason's probably the highest, though, dude.
Yeah.
I just love Bijan. Would you trade Gibbs for him in standard league? Yeah. And Bijan is the highest. Bijan's the number 1 player in fantasy this year. And the touchdowns will come for him, especially in a standard league. I want him over Gibbs. Should I get Corum instead of Franklin or Najee? I'd probably want to have Najee over Corum because you might have the starting running back for the next couple weeks for sure. Who would you start, Henderson or Stevenson in PPR? I mean, got to be Stevenson at this point. Sucks.
Yeah, you still got to put Stevenson above Henderson, at least for right now.
Baden says, please explain for the people in the back why kickers shouldn't be in fantasy football. I'm the opposite. I love streaming kickers. I think it's super fun. I understand the other end of it where it's like, fuck, we want to play. It's super unpredictable. The variance is crazy. Year to year, it's never the same guy. It's a lot of excitement, man. Having your kicker have a 50-yarder, bro. Bang that 50-yarder home. I love it. Burger or burrito, which is superior? Damn, that's a good one.
Ooh.
Ben, you're talking to 2 fat dudes here. So, like, bro.
Yeah, you're getting the best of the best.
My dick's out right now,
burger.
Man.
I'm going burger every day of the year. Yeah,
but a really good burrito is right because like burritos really can be just like kind of meh. I know. You're right.
Absolutely. I'm always looking for Jack Doyle.
I have another question. I got another question for you, Benny.
Okay, hold on. What is the absolute least amount of money you could get paid to blow a guy?
Now we're talking.
If I'm honest with myself,
Yeah.
I'd have to say $900.
Oh my God!
What's the money, Benny? How much to blow a guy? He'd do it for free. He'd blow me for free. So,
I mean, I'd probably pay to do it. So,
yes, awesome. We're gonna work this out after the stream. I don't want to put this shit on. I actually already put it on. Fucking, my dad watches all these. I don't give a fuck. Judy Robinson Jr. or Mike Evans. or Judy and Robinson Jr. for Mike Evans or Ibuka. So Mike Evans, I probably have ranked higher than Ibuka. I would probably do it because fuck that. Judy sucks. So get rid of Judy. It sucks. You had to get rid of Brian Robinson Jr. But Olave or Judkins at PPR, it's Olave easy as hell. If it was standard, I'd probably go Judkins, but half I'm going Olave and full I'm going Olave. Should I trade for Ridley? Ryan, yes. Ridley is one of my biggest trade lows right now, buy lows right now, because he hasn't put up the numbers. Cam Ward has thrown for 240 yards combined in his 2 games against 2 tough defenses. So Ridley stock will go up for sure. Colts D this week. Remind me who the Colts play. I'm charging my phone.
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm not really buying in on the Colts right now, though. In terms of their defense, they look good. They look good, but they're piecemealing it together. I see some regression from the Colts. I know they're 2.5 points
Tennessee.
underdogs at home. Titans. Yeah, probably Colts D this week. One more week against Cam Ward before he gets it going. Just traded my Henderson for his Harvey. Just my thoughts. You got. I would rather have Henderson than Harvey, unfortunately. Yeah. Just at least for recent, in terms of the next couple of weeks, Henderson's at least on the verge of being playable, where Harvey is not playable at all. You can't. Man, I'm calling Hampton is levels above Najee. I mean, maybe he is, but the coaching staff doesn't seem to agree with that. At least they won't going forward.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I think long run you might see Hampton have probably better value, but I mean, Najee's a proven back. Najee is great power back. I've always been partial to Najee. I've liked him ever since college. So I've just always thought he's a better running back than most people.
Yeah, Hampton's definitely got more juice than Najee at this stage of their career, or even when Najee came out of college. But Najee is never missed a game in his career. Coaches love him. He's got good hands, doesn't miss blocks, doesn't fucking fumble, doesn't run out of bounds. He doesn't make rookie mistakes. Mm-hmm. And this team's in win now mode. They don't need their running back to be anything special. They just need the running back to get to the yards that are blocked. So I think for the next 3 or 4 weeks, I'm predicting a 50-50 timeshare with Najee getting the more high value touches. So that's my worry.
Yes, I would
CMC play a full season this year. Thoughts? No, CMC, there's no way he plays a full season, but I think he can play 15 games. Right?
Yeah,
he might get nicked up here or there, but if they keep on giving him 30 touches a week, which they're going to have to because Kittle's out and Purdy's out, and there's no Ayuk, it's going to happen. Starts J.K. or Walker. Ooh, Walker's got a tasty matchup, but J.K. Dobbins is.
I'm starting Walker.
Yeah, I think Walker definitely has more upside this week, but J.K. is the safer play, right? Because there is a chance that, let's say New Orleans comes out and actually plays well, and then you don't have the game script you expect.
True.
J.K. Dobbins is getting 16 touches. That's what it appears.
Yeah, that is true.
Are we sitting or starting Hampton going forward? You cannot start him this week because there's a chance he gets 8 touches max. There's a chance that it's going to be really this is code red shit.
Yeah. There's a chance it's pretty
also
rough.
Another overrated drink, Mountain Dew Code Red, overrated. 70-30 with Hampton getting it. Brian, you think next week Hampton's getting 70% of the touches and snaps?
I don't think so.
Ain't no way, man.
He
doesn't look good enough either. I mean, I guess we're going to have to see. That's the fun thing about fantasy, or the frustrating thing is we don't know. We can predict. I've just seen this play out too much. And look at Henderson not getting snaps because he has holding penalties. Look at RJ Harvey not getting snaps. Look at Genty not getting the 2-minute drill last night. And he got Dylan Lobby's playing ahead of him for that that series. So Brian says 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, Hampton might get that again, but that's just not good. Thoughts on Harvey? Our panic level on Harvey is a 9 or a 10, bro.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I would trade for Harvey right now if I can get him for peanuts. If I could trade
take him.
If I could trade Nick Chubb for him, I wouldn't trade Javonte Williams. If I could trade Nick Chubb for him, if the guy needs a warm body. But top 3 waiver ads. This is a weak waiver week, man. A really weak one. So I'm not using a waiver claim on anyone. I usually don't anyway. I always want to get that save my number 1 waiver claim and not use it and get up to the number 1 claim. Kilgard says flex Tillman this week for Green Bay. I can replace with Golden or Franklin. That's a tough matchup, but I want Tillman snaps, and I want the game script where they're going to be throwing 45 times. So give me Tillman because you can't start Golden right now. You can't do it. And Franklin, Ben, you got to go. I got to go in 8 minutes. So I'll finish the last 5 minutes by myself. So I appreciate you being on here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Everybody, make sure you are seeing that banner up the top. Let's get those subs. Week 3 waivers and mailbag. Love being on here. Can't wait to be on here every week. thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.
Cheers, buddy. All right. So I'm going to finish up the last couple of minutes. I can do this on my own pretty well. Next week, he'll get more valuable touches when they're down. Najee is more of a third down back. Yeah, I'm thinking they're giving Najee the goal line work because they're not going to trust Hampton, right? And if he's the receiving back, that's all the valuable touches, right? You have to keep Harvey. You can't drop him unless it's a 10-team league. In a 10-team league, you can drop Harvey. 12-teamer, do not do it. I know, I get it, dude. If you have Harvey, if you have Hampton, I'm not giving up on the guy. I'm just saying I thought it was a bad pick when we all made it, when people made it in the third round. I thought it would have been, I would have taken him in the mid-4th. And it looks like he should have been a 6th-round pick. And it looks like Harvey should have been an 8th-round pick. It looks like Henderson should have been a 6th-round pick. Ryan said, I traded Harvey for Mason on Sunday. Got very lucky. Oh, my God. Your dick is probably out, my man. Congratulations, because you hit the lottery ticket there. That was a good trade if there was no injury to Aaron Jones, but the injury to Aaron Jones, and it's not just like any injury to any player. It's a hamstring to Aaron Jones, which is a chronic issue for him the last 3 or 4 years. They're going to be, it's his job, baby. Projection for Tyreek and A-Chain. I like both of them in this matchup. Unfortunately, there's a chance what happened to the Jets happens to the Dolphins, and it's just like a shit game. CT Crunch, start JMO, Ridley, or Tillman. I'm starting in full PPR. I'm starting Ridley. In half PPR or standard, I'm starting JMO. Half PPR is tough between JMO and Ridley. Standard, it's JMO for sure. But I like Ridley's volume this week. I still like Ridley. JMO is just so inconsistent, man. Again, before he had he had 2 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown. Dobbins plays 17 games. That's probably not happening. I can see Dobbins playing 14 or 15 though. Elite says Ibuka or Brees. It's definitely going to be Ibuka. It's tough, man. In full PPR, I want Ibuka. And half PPR, I want Brees. Seattle or Buffalo this week? Seattle's my number 1 defense to stream to start this week. It's definitely Seattle. Green Bay, I like Green Bay as well. Actually, it's probably Green Bay, but there's no way they're available anywhere. So in terms of available defenses you can pick up here in 5 minutes and not use a waiver claim, it is going to be Seattle. I got 4 more minutes, guys, and then I have to go through all my teams and pick up my stashes and swap out my kickers and not use a waiver claim on those things. Steelers beat the Pats this week. I like that call, man. I do. The Steelers should have beat the Seahawks last week. That Caleb Johnson fumble, not even fumble, that Caleb Johnson touching the ball in the return, the kick return, and then just letting it go in the end zone, cost them the 7 points, cost them the game. We got full PPR, Jennings, Pearsall, or Waddle. It's Pearsall by a mile. I would rank it Pearsall, Waddle, Jennings. No, I got to get some sleep. I've been having internet issues. Somehow it's been doing well tonight, but I got the cable guy coming, which is hopefully it's Jim Carrey. That'd be fucking great. Cable guy coming, and I didn't sleep much last night. So, and I'll probably do a show tomorrow, and then Thursday I'll do a recap show of Thursday Night Football. Friday I'll do something. Mark says Philly D we're keeping most of the season. Or are they droppable? I would not keep them rest of the season. Unless it's a top 3 defense. Denver, I'd put Denver in there. Obviously Green Bay. Maybe Seattle at this point. I'm not keeping any defense for more than a couple weeks unless their matchups are money or they really, really are excelling. Chargers might be one of those defenses. Ooh, we got some Steelers love. What time next week you be on? Well, I'm on every night, so usually I'm on around midnight most of these nights. I try to do a little earlier shows, but it's usually late night. Weekends definitely late night. The only time I'm on like early is Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Central. That is a start-sit show, where it's just all questions, and it's hard for me to answer them all, but you guys can all help each other out too. That's the point of this, right? My main platform is actually Fantrax, because that's where I played all my public leagues, but like the leagues I commish and like my home leagues and shit are typically on Yahoo. I hate ESPN. They do have a hard schedule, but we just saw them dominate the Packers, or we saw them dominate the Lions and the Commanders. So how much harder can it get? No problem, man. I appreciate it. Post Simone. I don't know if you're a girl, Simone, but either way, person. Appreciate you. And you won't be disappointed because I'm going to be going live every goddamn day, and we're making a lot of money. If you like gambling, this is your spot too. But a lot of good stuff here. For PPR, which 2 receivers would I start? Harrison, Devontae Smith, Hunter, Olave, Jennings. You can't start Hunter right now. He played a lot of snaps on defense, dude. So that's going to change week to week. It's tough. I think we whipped on that pick. Marvin Harrison for sure, and Devontae Smith, I think. Or Olave. I think Devontae Smith and Olave. You're starting Marvin Harrison 100%. So it's Marvin Harrison, Devontae Smith, and Olave. Olave probably being 3rd. Steelers defense, maybe it's not all it's been talked about. No, it doesn't look great this year, man. Their pass rush looks a little weak. It's Olave, bro, over Judkins for sure. Even in half PPR, I want Olave. Full. Yeah, I got you. I knew it was full. Sunday morning start sit live. That is what I'm talking about right here. I'll be there. Hell yeah. And again, tomorrow I usually will hop on when my wife goes to bed and I'm bored. Because I actually tend to learn as much on these things, just talking things out and hearing the chat, than I would watching a fantasy show, which I do in my car. But do you get frustrated? You could have had a defense if you put a claim in them and took a risk to save. No, I'm never using a risk on using a claim on a defense. I'm saving my claims for high upside running backs or possibly a receiver. So yeah, I'm never using a claim on a defense. I'll use my claim on a defense at the end of the year. If it's week 14 or a playoff week, right? I'm in the fantasy playoffs, or I need to win, right? If it's week 14 and I'm a winner go home situation, I will use it on the defense I prefer. But other than that, I'm not this early in the year. Absolutely not. Because what is that defense? We know they're going to be the best scoring defense. We know they're going to score more than a team like the Jags, because it's fantasy defenses. It's random, and it's not worth 1 week to possibly not even win your matchup. That's my thing. I'm really, really conservative with my waiver claims. I'll save it all year if I have to, dude, because it sucks when you don't use it, right? And it's like you're leaving money at the poker table, but it's worth it when you get a league winner in week 14, week 12, week 11. We got Travis. I got a couple more here. Start 3, Tet McMillan, GP, DJ Moore, Olave, Henderson. Who is GP? So you're starting Tet for sure. I'm starting Olave and DJ Moore, depending on who. You can't start Henderson right now, Travis. Not yet. No problem, Elite. Oh, Pickens. Oh, shit, my bad. I should know that. I've been on here for a long time. I would start McMillan, Pickens, and Olave. I think DJ Moore and Olave are really tough. Those two are tied. Cheers, Pickens. What should I expect back in a trade if I do trade Bowers? I would want an elite tight end, man. I would try to get Trey McBride for him straight up right now. Or try to get a back-end guy, try to get Laporta and something else. Try to get Tucker Kraft. But if the Packers are on claims, would you spend the pick to get them? I already have the Texans. If they go past waiver claims 100%, I would get them. I wouldn't use a waiver on them. But so get a wide receiver. Try to get Laporta and a wide receiver. But I got to get off, though. My shit's all gone through. I have to get my guys on my leagues. Appreciate all you guys. If you didn't subscribe, please do. I'll be on here freaking every night. So y'all have a good night. Keep it positive. Love each other. And we'll be seeing you.